So what are my thoughts on chiropractic care? Great question. How's it going, everyone? You're watching Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelsechannel.com. If at any point in time you like the video, please So what are my thoughts on chiropractic care? Excellent question. What's going on, everyone? Christian Duke, Everything Else Channel on YouTube, everythingelsechannel.com. If at any point in time you like the video, smash that like button. Also, guys, please subscribe to the channel. That really helps, especially with the algorithm. Hit the bell for notifications so you won't miss a single video, and leave comments down below. So let's see. We are in March 2024. This would have been October of 2022. I was doing dumbbell presses, and I was doing the 120s, and I was having a little bit of trouble, and I think I pushed a little bit harder on my right side, which is my stronger side, and as a result, my neck was just, like, the next day I didn't feel it, the next day I didn't feel it, the next day I was like a little sore, like I felt kind of like I had maybe like slept on the wrong side of the bed, and then it just got worse. And then within a week or two, I couldn't move very much in another direction. And if I would drive for a prolonged period of time, so I have like exploringkentucky.com, sightsoundslurs.com, I would do road trips, and I would go around Kentucky, and I would go to West Virginia and Ohio and a bunch of places to film. And I noticed that if I was, driving for more than, say, 30 to 45 minutes, it would start to really flare up and hurt. I was taking Excedrins, I was taking Advils. It was not a good time. I was doing the BioFreeze, I was doing warm baths, cold showers. I was usually doing like everything you could imagine. I went to urgent care, which, note to self, urgent care is useless because all they ever do is give you antibiotics or the occasional anti-inflammatory. And the anti-inflammatory worked for a couple of days, but anti-inflammatory that's stronger than Advil or even Advil is basically just masking the pain. It's not doing anything to make you better. Same thing with people that get cortisone injections. That's called pain management, but you're not really doing anything to improve the situation. All you're doing is masking the pain. And if you're using corticosteroids, you're actually hurting the muscle. Your muscle's withering away in exchange for you not to feel that pain. So it's a really, really bad place to be. And then I started looking at physical therapy. And mind you, as an attorney, I had sort of a kind of opinion about chiropractic care that wasn't very favorable. I also didn't really consider it to be medical, which it's not entirely medical, it's more holistic, but it's sort of that, even doctors, if you have MDs, they have DOs. DOs are not MDs. They go to med school and they know about the science, but they also have a respect for the holistic. And the reality of the matter is there's a lot of good in the holistic, but I was just apprehensive about the whole thing. And also because of the personal injury aspect of the law, a lot of chiros are kind of shady, but they're shady in every bunch. But at the same time, and also on YouTube, there's a guy that wraps a towel around someone's head and looks like they're snapping their neck off. And then there's the one that puts like a rubber gadget on you and pops your head out. I'm sure, it's on the up and up. Otherwise, they would be sued from here to Timbuktu. But it just, for me, looked a little extreme and it looked a little silly. And then, I love Gregory Johnson, but he's got, whenever you got a doctor that calls one of his, medical apparatuses the ring dinger. I'm thinking to myself, am I going to like a swap meet? Am I going to a barbecue? Or am I going to a doctor's office, So, and there's nothing wrong with that per se. It's just that, when you're uptight and kind of like overly apprehensive and just skeptical, it's not. I'm just being honest. It's not. It doesn't have a very like serious note to it. But maybe the point of it is to not have a serious note. Maybe the point of it is to just kind of like be more lighthearted, whatever. So I started looking at physical therapy. Like here we have Court, KORT, and they're very good. And they're recognized by all insurance providers, and they do good stuff. They put you in pools. They help you with like little weights on your hands and stuff, and like exercises and chair movements and all the stuff that you would expect from physical therapy. With a physical therapist that went to school for it, licensed and all that, in a nice facility, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But they were talking about more along the lines of preventative, more along the lines of post-op, more along the lines of just not, I didn't think it was going to be for me. I didn't think they were really going to be able to do anything for me. I didn't think exercise, and I didn't think that massage and stuff like that was going to do anything either. I did go to massage. I went to a massage therapist. And they ended up hurting it. I mean, not worsening the condition, but it was not comfortable. It was not pleasant, and it didn't do anything. It was my issue is spinal, and they were doing massage, which is muscular, so it didn't really accomplish anything. And in fact, even with the lightest touch, it was too much. I was having like serious pain. So I went to my chiropractor, but before I went there, how did I get there? So I did a Google review, and I saw one chiro that had like 500 reviews, and they were all like very, very positive. And I was like, normally that would be a good thing, but I also know about marketing, and I know about, getting people to leave you good reviews, and I know about how that all works, and some people will give you a discount if you leave a review, and some people will be like, I don't know, whatever. I'm not saying that they did that, but it just seemed odd to me. And also I felt like the place that had like the 500 reviews, it looked like they were a pretty big facility. And I don't know if there was one chiropractor or an army of them, and I just felt like, I thought I'd be more like a number than anything else, and that's not a good feeling. So then I look for chiropractors around where I live. Now I live in a really, really nice gated community apartment. I rent. It's good rent because I've been here forever, but I think if you come off the street, it's actually pretty expensive. It is expensive for me, but it's not as expensive as if I had just come off the street like in March 6th, 2024. But and around here, all the houses are like very, very expensive. Very, very expensive. And so, anyways, I looked for one that was around here, and that's the one I settled on. He had like 20 reviews, not 500. They were all good. He had a couple that were bad. You get salty people for whatever reason, but like 18 out of 21 were like very positive. One was fair, and a couple haters in there for the mix, I went to him, and he just fixed me up. He fixed me right up. I mean, what he did was, at first I thought it was a little too intense, but he put me on 3 days a week for 2 weeks. And then after that, it was 1 day a week for 2 weeks. And then after that, it was supposed to be maintenance. But then after that, I just kept going once a week. And I haven't gone in like 4 months, but I'm going to start going again once a week. And, there've been a couple of times that I stopped going for whatever reason, but then I always get back, and I feel like the what works for me the best is once a week. I lay on the bed there with the electrodes and such, and then the roller, and that's fantastic. 15 minutes, I get that. If I get there early, I get 20 sometimes. Who wouldn't want 20? And then the adjustment itself is maybe like 5 minutes. Now he's very, very conservative. So he doesn't do any of the, like, for example, he frowns upon the towel thing. He thinks it's like ridiculous. And the other gadgets that are used on YouTube, he thinks it's absolutely ridiculous. He would never do that. And I think it is a little ridiculous also. I'm just saying. He does pressure points a lot. So he doesn't actually like adjust my whole spine like a lot of the chiros do. And I kind of wish that he would, like, for my sacrum and that sort of thing, my lower back, because I do have a lot of issues with that. But what he will do some some adjustment, but he's very, very much into the pressure points. He will adjust my neck, which is great. He'll turn me on my side, like kind of like this, he'll like that, and he'll crunch the lower back both times. So that'll provide decompression, but he doesn't like go like up and down the spine. He doesn't do that. And I don't know how to describe that to him. I'm like, can you do this? And he's like, well, I'm already like, so he won't do that. And so I could always go to another chiropractor, but he's the one that fixed my neck, and he's the one that has kept me healthy. And so I'm not, I'm sure if I went to another chiropractor, like I went to a Asian massage facility, all in the up and up. And what he was doing was he was using his elbows, and he was also using I guess he was using his knuckles, but he actually got my lower back to crack in 3 different spots. Crack is just releasing nitrogen, but he got it to crack, and it wasn't just releasing nitrogen. It felt amazing, but he wasn't a chiropractor, And I think he was doing chiropractic work, because when you give somebody a massage, it's not totally uncommon for them to, it's not totally uncommon for you to have some release, like a crack, a pop, you know what I mean? Whether you hear it or not. I can, like, for example, it could be something that I can hear, but maybe you can't. Because remember, a lot of these chiropractic videos, they have small microphones attached to the person's clothing. And sometimes they have them attached in multiple spots, or they might have a boom like right over the person. Like, they will amplify, the crack, because a lot of, like, even Dr. Gregory Johnson, who I love, he's super entertaining. I love his wife. I love the facility. I just I would not allow him to bolt me into a bed and pop my neck out with a towel. I wouldn't allow him to do that, but I sure love watching it. It's very entertaining. But even him, I totally forgot what I was talking about. But so basically, um, you know, it, it, it it's one of those things where you got to be careful, because with massage therapy, it is possible to have some release like that, but not like what the guy in South Florida did. Like, what the guy in South Florida did is he actually legitimately cracked my back and my lower back, and to such a point that my chiropractor doesn't even do it like that. So you got to be careful. You got to be really, really careful. What was I going to say about Dr. Gregory Johnson? I totally forgot. I don't remember. I hate when that happens. And see, that's what happens when you make videos, You're trying to do a video, you're trying to keep to your talking points, and then something comes into your mind, and you do what you're doing. What I'm doing now is just kind of talking, hoping that it'll come back to you, and it's not coming back to me. So I don't know what the hell I was going to say, but the point is that, this is the guy that fixed me. It does work. You got to find the one that works for you. There's a lot of folks out there, they amplify these cracks, and they maybe there's a little bit of acting involved, not with Dr. Gregory Johnson at all, but with some of the other channels, because the other thing is that a lot of channels also want to go viral, and you can see some of the chiro videos, some of the clients, some of the female clients are dressed a little bit, and some of the doctors' bedside manners, So the thing is, I mean, again, it may be on the up and up, it may be totally legit, or it may be embellished a little bit to get those views. But overall, I've mentioned Dr. Gregory Johnson. He's amazing at what he does. He does the Palmer method. He's got a lion's share of clients, professional athletes, movie stars, all that fun stuff, I'm sure. He's a fantastic chiropractor. He's just not somebody that I would go to, and he's not somebody that my chiropractor really thinks much of his methods, because again, my chiropractor is really conservative. And even though I wish my chiropractor kind of was a little bit more risque, because I want to see what he could do in that realm, he just won't do it. And I could ask him, 10 different ways under the sun, he's not going to do it. But at the same time, he fixed my neck. I could not do this. I could not do this. I could not do this. I couldn't do any of this. I couldn't do any of it. He taught me how to for example, by doing this for 30 seconds, just this, and then this for 30 seconds. Let's do it now, see what happens. Oh. Well, I'm not gonna say for 30 seconds, but you get an incredible pop, release, doing that 30 seconds down, 30 seconds up. And he gave me a whole bunch of exercises to do, and he answers all my questions. Why would I leave him to go to somebody who's gonna maybe crack my back 50 different ways, and then I won't be able to walk in 2 days? Because that's the other thing. My doctor is very, very much on, I can be more aggressive, but you don't need it. So he is very, very transparent when it comes to that. And, he did the x-rays, he went over the x-rays with me. That's another thing, x-rays. A lot of chiropractors do not know how to read x-rays. So I don't even know why they're doing them. My guy knows how to read x-rays. And we went over everything. And before he ever touched me, I had x-rays done. And so the thing is that it's just a completely different level of care than a lot of other chiropractors. A lot of chiropractors, especially in Kentucky, because we have PIP here, personal injury protection, is it's an insurance threshold of $10,000 that everybody gets, regardless of fault. You get $10,000 towards medicals. You can reserve some of it for lost wages, up to $200 a week. That's a massive amount of money. And then you also have funeral expenses. It has not been changed since the 1970s, but everybody, regardless of fault, gets PIP. So what do a lot of these, like, shady chiropractors do? Oh, you need treatment. You need treatment, and oh, you're done at $9,999. You're done. So they will drain the PIP, knowing that it's there. They're going to get it, regardless if the patient actually needs the adjustment, needs the chiropractic care. They're going to get every last cent of it, or maybe leave a nickel. And so they give the chiropractors in the community a pretty bad rap. And a lot of those chiropractors are actually flagged by most of the insurance companies. So even if somebody went to them with a legitimate injury, it's unlikely that the insurance will pay, because these chiropractors are so shady that they've been flagged by the insurance companies. But anyways, with regards to chiropractic care, does it work? It worked for me. Do I go? I certainly do. And I used to be of the opinion that if you missed a couple of sessions or you didn't go for a month, that you would not be able to move. Not the case. I feel a lot better when I go, but I haven't been there in 3 months. I'm starting to want to go back, but I'm by no means in any kind of pain, and certainly not in the kind of pain that I was before my injury in September, October 2022. So again, he fixed me right up, and he did so without surgery or lasers or gadgets or wrapping my neck in a towel and popping my head off, figuratively speaking.